I speak today in behalf of Ibon International and the organizations behind the Campaign for People's Goals for Sustainable Development. Moving towards sustainable patterns of production and consumption is certainly a central challenge if the 2030 agenda is to truly succeed. However, one day after a rapturous launching of this new agenda that promises to transform our world, we find ourselves listening to statements from our leaders with increasing concern. We find two recurrent themes particularly alarming. One is the emphasis on growth as the central concern of the 2030 agenda. We all know that GDP growth is hardly an adequate or even a good indicator of improvements in people's well-being. Indeed, if poor countries manage to grow their GDP to catch up to the current average levels of consumption and production of high-income countries today, we would need at least 3.5 Earths to provide the resources and absorb the waste. And that is assuming current high-income countries slow their growth rates to zero. We clearly need to place redistribution in the center of the Sustainable Development Agenda. The other theme we find alarming is the emphasis on private investments as the driver of this growth. We are all witness to the dangers of relying on the logic of profit maximization and competition. It is this logic that compels economic actors to squeeze as much output from the labor of working people while minimizing wages, offloading social and environmental costs, and avoiding taxes and regulations. Indeed, millions of people have not just been left behind, but pushed back by this mode of development. If we are to truly transform our world, we need to transform our entire paradigm of development. First, we need to democratize the ownership of resources and economic gains, not just through progressive taxation and expanding public spending on public goods and essential services, but also by progressively expanding the share of the economy under public, community, and solidarity-based forms of ownership and management. Second, we need to democratize decision-making in the economy through participatory social planning and cooperation, decentralization based on the principle of subsidiarity, and workplace democracy. Third, we need to reorient the economy towards promoting the well-being of the people and the Mother Earth, instead of growth and profits. This means ensuring that economic actors and their activities are bound by human rights norms and principles, by adopting an ecosystem framework of social planning, and by fostering the values and culture of caring and solidarity for people and nature. We need not wait for another 15 years for a reckoning. The time for transformation begins now. Thank you.